Maggie and Perloff, afternoons 3 to 6 on WSKO Syracuse, a Cumulus media station. The voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260, joined, as always, in studio by my good friend Josh Boheim.
As always.
Josh is wearing a beautiful Cincinnati Reds hoodie today. The Reds, of course, haven't scored a run since they played the Red Sox in the World Series in 75. But actually, I bring that up because they're currently doing, it's the 50th anniversary of that historic World Series. And there's been, there were celebrations at Fenway yesterday. Carly Yastrzemski threw out the first pitch. Dwight Evans, Fred Lynn, Jim Rice, all there. It's Carlton Fisk was there with the bat that hit the home run.
That's pretty sweet.
So really cool celebrations going on at Fenway this weekend for the 50th anniversary of the 1975 World Series that, of course, we lost to the Cincinnati Reds.
I think Yaz could have got it halfway down there. They didn't give him a chance.
Listen,
he had a lot of mustard on
there
that.
There was a lot of mustard on that ball for how short he threw it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they could have given Yaz a little bit more
If he started off
room.
the mound, I think he could have gotten
Yeah,
there.
I think so, too. Stoned is in the chat already. Christian Campbell is him. Garrett Crochet is a horse. Bats are getting hot. Bullpen surprisingly good. Sox are bleeping back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sox look good.
The Sox look good. It's early in the season. Rafael Devers remembered how to hit. Got 2 hits last night. That was a fun stretch of 5 games where the discourse surrounding Rafael Devers was absolutely insufferable on Red Sox Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I was as frustrated as anybody, but come on. We're 5 games into the season. I always say this because, and this is specifically about betting baseball, but
sure.
it goes for Major League Baseball in general. The season starts June 1st. April and May, you can sort of throw out the window a lot of times.
Yeah.
By June 1st, we know exactly who everybody is, and that goes for teams, and that goes for players. So the first week of the season, I don't care. Now, I've been watching games.
Yeah.
Baseball is back. I watched probably 8 games on opening day. I was all over it.
Sure.
I love it. But let's calm down a little bit.
Yeah, you gotta. Right? I mean, I'm the same way. You watch a team, you get a team a little bit of hype. I know the Red Sox are the same, a lot of offseason hype.
Yep.
And then it doesn't start exactly how everyone wants. You can't win every game. And boy, do they get some negative Nancy's online.
Especially the Red Sox, dude. Like, there's something about I don't know why.
Yeah.
I have thrust myself into such toxic, annoying fandoms when it comes to sports, being a Red Sox, Celtics, Eagles fan.
Yeah.
But there's just so many negative people out there that are Sox fans, and it's all for really stupid reasons. I'm not going to name any names, because some of these are people I know and have interacted with in the past and worked with in the past. I'm sorry, but your idea of Tristan Casas being bad because he paints his fingernails and lays shirtless in the grass before games, the fact that you think that's why he's only hitting 260 instead of 290 with good power
in 8 games.
Shut up.
Yeah.
All right. Those are the type of fans the Red Sox get, and it really annoys me.
That makes sense in Boston. What I think too is the funny thing about baseball. Sometimes, at least in my perspective, when you follow teams or follow people online who are fans of teams, you get a lot of Reds fans, a lot of them are also just Cincinnati fans.
Yeah.
So it comes from a background of Bengals lovers who are dealing with an ownership problem right now. And then that hatred in the offseason, they just can't get rid of it. It's like, it's the same thing. The owner sucks. It's just like the Bengals. We're going to lose Hendrickson. Ellie's going to sign someone. You're like, all right,
calm down.
Let's just take it easy. Like, sometimes the other bigger franchises in the city take away. That's why it's nice to be a Cowboys fan, because that's the only thing people care about in Dallas. It's like the Mavericks are just a dumpster right now. It doesn't matter. You don't get to hear that.
Yeah.
But it is weird to see which teams kind of get supremacy in the city.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing. Like, the Reds are Well, actually, I won't say that because of the Big Red Machine and guys like your dad, but for the most part, like Cincinnati teams are a very regional fan base.
Sure.
Like I'd say the Reds have a bigger national fan base than the Bengals because of the Big Red Machine, but very regional fan base where you get teams like the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Cowboys. There's fans everywhere.
They all hate them.
And everyone is just mad.
No one's happy with your team unless they win every game and a championship.
Yeah, Dodgers fans are thrilled right now.
I mean, there was a real thought that they were just never going to lose, Mark. They're dogs tonight, by the way.
Oh,
Roki Sasaki.
Yeah, Roki Sasaki.
Thank you. Is on the mound tonight in Philly, and they're dogs. Like, they won 8 in a row to start the year, and now they're somehow a dog.
Yeah.
April baseball, don't get it twisted. Just sit back and watch sometimes, have a beer, and enjoy it because it's just crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy things going to happen. Luzardo looked like a Cy Young pitcher last night against the Dodgers.
Yeah, Luzardo's good.
He is really good.
I'm glad he finally found a spot where he can succeed. He's not in Oakland or Miami.
Yes.
Get him on a team with
decent run support.
Yeah, some run support, and Jesus Luzardo is nasty. Yeah. Also, he has a great nickname.
What's his nickname?
The Jesus Lizard.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm like, he's just Jesus. I don't know what.
Yeah, Jesus Lizard. Which is a real type of lizard, if I remember. They're the kind that can like run on water. Have you seen those lizards?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a Jesus lizard.
He's that.
Yeah, he's that. So I do really like Luzardo, but the thing is with Dodgers too, you would think it's like, okay, they've been off to such an insane start, you might be able to lock up the NL West already. The Giants are 6-1. The Diamondbacks are 5-3, and the Padres are 7-1. This division might just be insane the entire year.
The Padres swept the Braves to start the year.
Yeah,
the Braves. Mark,
the Braves. Oh.
The Braves with it's like the exact opposite start of the Dodgers, and yet somehow, for those looking down the pike, the futures on the World Series, the Braves still have the second best odds, or second, whatever you want to look at it, to win the World Series, starting 0-7 or 0-8, whatever it was. I mean, incredible stuff. And the team, you're getting Acuna back in May sometime.
Well,
the bat's got to get hot at some point, and Sale shouldn't be. It's been 2 starts.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
The thing is, and Jim asked, does Mark have the Golf Channel on or no interest in the women's Augusta Amateur? I just turned it on to the Golf Channel. I didn't think it had started yet, so that's why I was waiting to turn it on. I am very interested. I think this is a really cool event. Have you watched any of this?
I have not.
A few years ago, they started having a women's amateur event at Augusta National.
Oh, that's nice. They let the women on the ground. So.
Yeah, for the first time.
That makes sense.
They started having a women's event at Augusta, and so how they do it is they play the first 2 rounds at a different course.
Okay.
And then
qualify.
Yeah, you have to qualify to get to Augusta
for a full weekend.
For 1 day. It's today.
Oh, that's sweet.
So it starts with a 72-person field. They cut it down to 30 for today, but yesterday all 72 get to play a practice round at Augusta.
That's nice.
So the entire field gets to play there, but the top 30 get to play there twice.
Is Nelly there today? Or it's amateurs? So
amateurs, yeah. So no one that we would know. But it's a cool event, and there's some really good players there. So that is now on. Like I said, I hadn't thought it started yet. But yeah, early season baseball is it's wild, man.
Yeah, just enjoy it. Be happy that baseball's back and watch it if you can.
And the thing is, too, like you mentioned with the Braves, with their World Series odds right now, that's what I mean. Like, we don't know anything until June 1st. We know for a fact that the Braves are not going to win 65 games this year.
Right. They are not the White Sox. They are not the Athletics.
Absolutely not. And
they might not be. The White Sox might be the White Sox.
Yeah, and the A's might not be the A's.
The Angels might not be the Angels. The Angels look really good. That Soriano guy they had pitching yesterday.
It's funny. So my dad and I sit and watch like a bunch of spring training games too.
Sure.
Because why not? And we, for like 4 straight days, got stuck with an Angels spring training game. We just we're like, all right, let's just throw a game on. It's the Angels again. One of them was against the White Sox. It was just absolute swill of spring training baseball. And the Angels looked so horrifically bad in those games. And then Yeah, they look all right. Trout is off to a little bit slow of a start, but
Yeah.
he's a notoriously kind of a slow starter.
He didn't play a lot last year again, right? Like, wasn't he injured?
Well, he hasn't played a full season in like 4 years.
Yeah.
It's and he got hit in his first at bat of the season right on the hand. Thankfully stayed in the game, but it was like, we got to go through this again. Mike Trout's got a broken hand, and it was going to be all over for the Angels again, but thankfully he stayed healthy. But I don't know, man. It's the start to the season is a lot of things that we weren't expecting, like the Braves being so poor to start the season. The Red Sox being like what they are. The Orioles and Royals both off to a kind of slow start. But then there's those teams like the Dodgers and the Yankees where it's like,
here we go again.
They're just as good as we thought they were.
Does it bringing up Trout? Is there a guy that's like universally rooted for as much, like just being a really good guy on a pretty crappy team that doesn't he doesn't have a lot of flair? I mean, when he was young and really good, like he kind of had a little bit, but it's not like a Harper situation. Like Harper can be kind of a D-bag.
Harper overshadowed him in terms of personality when they came up together.
Totally.
Trout was obviously the better player. It wasn't even close. But in terms of national attention, Harper got just as much, if not more, strictly for the way he played the game when he was running into walls. And
when he was a high schooler, he was on Sports Illustrated.
He was 16 on the cover of Sports Illustrated, which is something that Trout never got. Trout was
just not that guy.
Yeah, he was just this kid from New Jersey who ended up being really good at baseball.
Yeah. I feel like he's the most, I'm always like, dang, I wish that guy could stay healthy, and I wish the Angels could just make the playoffs. I just want to see him in the playoffs.
It's always been interesting to me, the Mike Trout situation, because the guy he was always compared to for the first, 8 years of his career was, this is the next Mickey Mantle.
Yep.
We've got Mickey Mantle 2.0. And the worst part is we did get Mickey Mantle 2.0 because his body just can't hold up.
Yeah.
The whole thing was, if he stays healthy, we can see what Mickey Mantle would have been like for 18 years. Like a fully healthy Mickey Mantle.
Right.
Which, I mean, Mickey hit 521 home runs. It's not like
he did all right.
It's not like he was some what if story, but he kind of was, because his knees were so shot just 5-6 years into his career that the defense had gone, the stolen bases had gone.
Yep.
And Mike Trout kind of completed the comparison by also never staying healthy. And it really stinks. I would have loved to see a fully healthy Mike Trout for 15 years and just be in awe of the guy as he wins 6 MVPs. And he's still going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's still probably going to go in close to unanimously.
Yep.
But man, he kind of is a sports what if.
He's becoming one for sure. Because he's already been in the league now for, got to be close to a decade.
2011 was his. He came up in 2011, Rookie of the Year in 2012. So,
jeez, that is, dude. Mike Trout's another one where it's like we've seen his entire career. Potentially, he's one of those guys. Yeah, like LeBron is the closest one we talk about. Where like basically, as we were kids, he was in the league already.
Yeah,
but when those guys go, it's like, oh, we are getting old.
Yeah, Trout. 2012 Rookie of the Year. Mike Trout's 33 years old now.
Yeah, he's on the second half of his career.
Yeah, but you just career 298 average, 380 home runs, averages 40 per 162 games. Career OPS of 990.
That's pretty good.
Like, he's got the 3 MVPs, the Rookie of the Year, 4 more MVP runner-ups, 2 additional top 5 finishes. He finished top 5 in MVP voting for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight years.
Yeah, that's a Hall of Famer. That's the first ballot Hall of Famer.
And in those 9 straight years, one of them was 2020, so that doesn't count. He played a full season in 2020. He played 53 out of 60 games.
Yep.
114 games, 140 games, 134 games, 139 games. Like, they're close to full seasons, but not quite. And since 2020, 36 games, 119, 82, 29. So we haven't seen 120 or more games of Mike Trout since 2019, his age 27 season when he won MVP by hitting 291 with 45 bombs and 104 RBI. And we haven't seen that guy since
6 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I will inevitably root for him every year. I love Mike Trout.
Oh yeah, I love him. LA, please trade him to Philly.
That would make all the sense in the world for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe the team's just good this year. Finally, they've held him captive long enough.
I doubt it.
You don't think so?
No, that pitching still stinks.
Yeah,
Their opening day starter was Yusei Kikuchi, which guys like Nunez have tried to convince me for years that Yusei Kikuchi is good, and he just isn't.
Jose Soriano's had a couple of good starts.
Yeah, he's not bad, but the pitching is still a nightmare.
I hear you.
And
the division has some holes this year, though. The Astros don't look all that great.
Well, yeah, because their starting left fielder stinks.
Yeah,
well,
and they lost Bregman and some other things, but yes,
I say their starting left fielder stinks because it's Jose Altuve, and he has no clue what he's doing in the outfield. It's very funny to watch.
It is pretty good.
It reminds me of when the Red Sox put Hanley Ramirez in left field, and
he was instantly graded the best left fielder in baseball.
Yeah, in preseason he was rated the #1 left fielder in baseball, and then proceeded to be the worst defensive left fielder in the history of the game. It was so funny. Watching that guy play left was almost worth how bad, or actually the team wasn't that bad that year, but it was worth the frustration just because of how funny it was. It was just hilarious. Anyway, so that's our opening baseball talk. I mean, there's obviously a ton going on in the world of baseball, and we could talk about it for hours, but there's a lot more to talk about. SU Hoops news. A couple of transfers coming in this week. That damn hope and optimism is coming back to me, Josh, and I don't like it.
It only took a month.
That's the thing. It only took a month from the worst SU hoop season of my life to be like, all right, I'm back. This team has a stranglehold on me, and they always will. So we're going to talk about the transfers coming in. Masters coming up in just a few days. Thursday, first round at Augusta National. We've got the women's amateur on right now. I am so hyped for the first major of the year. It always feels the best going into Augusta because that means spring is right around the corner, and Josh will be out there playing ourselves often enough. So the Masters are coming up. We're going to go through our guys. I know you got a couple. I was talking to Stone the other day about some of my guys. We're going to go through some of our bets, some of just the guys we like going into the Masters, and so much more. Stay tuned right here on the Score 1260. If you want to call in, it's 315-671-1260. That's 315-671-1260. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Casanova location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
We're definitely going to be late to the concert.
Content creation, that guy goes right from basketball.
G-Unit, yeah.
College basketball, where he does a daily podcast on college basketball. Sometimes, those Saturdays have, 100 games going. He'll talk about every single game, give his stats out, and then right into baseball season, he's got the same thing queued up.
Yeah.
He talks about every single game going on that day, gives plays, picks, leans. It's insane.
Yeah.
That guy's the hardest working, mediocre content creator in the game. I love him, but mediocre
like
just in terms of following, I would say.
Excuse me. Yeah, it's not like he's got a massive following.
A couple 100,000 maybe, which
in the sports betting world is a lot. Yeah. Shout out G-Unit having John Bowman, our baseball insider, on there today.
You got to get Bowman back on the show.
I can get Bowman back on the show.
Yeah, you got him.
I like to get him around when the super regionals are starting, because he's a college guy at heart. And so I like talking to him about college ball. So around super regionals for College World Series, we'll get him on. Loves him some Tulane, man. I think he went to Tulane. He's a big Green Wave fan.
Oh, yeah.
Bowman.
Yeah, he did. I think he went there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he did.
I remember talking about that, when we did our Twitter space show for this.
Yeah.
He was on one.
That's right. I forgot we got him on one of those. Yeah.
We've done this show in a lot of different ways, Mark.
We have.
Yeah.
Jim says no golf this week. What is snow doing in the forecast? Yeah, I'm tired of it, Jim. I'm sick and tired of it.
This was supposed. I mean, we had a couple decent range day potentially this week.
I played on Monday.
You played on Monday.
I played 9. Yeah.
At the club.
Yeah.
Nice.
Pretty good shape. Greens were a little slow. I had the most hilarious putting performance of my life on Monday.
Oh boy. Rough.
I played okay. Like, actually, no, I did not play great. But
3 putts.
I had 2 3-putts from 15 feet, and I had 3 putts that I made from 25 feet. 1 for birdie.
Yeah, that's not like you.
No, like I'm usually a decent putter.
Yeah,
but like the 3, like it. That's the problem with playing Bellevue when it's super slow. Is I'm so used to the greens rolling at like an 11 or a 12.
Yeah.
That when they're rolling at like a 9, I'm like, ugh, I have no idea what to do.
Well, once you hit those long ones, you don't even really clap. You're just scratching your head like, how the hell did that go in? Like, what am I doing?
And then I had one. It was on the second hole. So first hole, I make like a 2-putt bogey.
Front or back?
Front.
Okay.
First hole, missed my tee shot right, missed my approach shot right, actually land on the 8th green, almost goes in. It was funny. There was a member coming down 8. He goes, Mark, you don't realize that was like an inch from going in the hole on 8. I'm like, that's hilarious. That's what I get for shanking my second shot. Put it to like 15 feet and 2-putt. Second hole, top my tee shot. Just I had no idea what type of shot I was trying to hit. So I top my tee shot, rip a 3-wood that gets like 40 yards short of the green. Pitch shot, a little bit deep of the hole, put it 18 feet by and make the comebacker.
April golf.
And we're back. Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Jim says he's got to run.
A run?
No, he's
leaving?
He's got to go. He said,
what the hell do you have to do?
He said he'll catch the rest on replay. I guess a busy day for our guy Jim in the chat today.
Thanks for tuning in, Jim.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for being here while you were, Jim.
What does he do? Honestly,
I don't know.
He's been available every Saturday for the last 3 years. His Saturdays have been wide open.
I don't know, but
Must
whatever.
be important.
He's got to help someone move like you do. You know, he's got
bats in his house. He's got to go catch a bat. I don't know.
He's got to go catch 48 bats that live in his wall. He said he's got a poorly scheduled party to go to, so it's not his fault.
The odd 11 a.m. party. Jim, you can just say you got to go. It's okay.
Jim, you can just say you don't want to listen to us anymore. It's fine.
We're phoning it in. I get it.
That's what this show's always been, hasn't it?
Yeah.
But no, I do want to talk about. What do you want to talk about first, golf or basketball?
Let's do basketball.
Okay, so we'll start with SU, and then we'll talk about. We got the Final Four today, obviously. Jim says he's bringing the catered food, so he
was an important job.
Yeah, he was stuck bringing the food. That's fair, Jim. That's fair.
Jim, I'm done riffing on you.
Yeah.
Have a great day.
Have a
party
great
goes
time,
well.
Jim.
I'm sorry.
We don't want to make you late.
No.
We'll start with SU, and then we'll go into the Final Four. So, a couple of big transfers this week for Syracuse. Funnily enough, both of them named Nate, but spelled differently. Point guard Nate George out of Georgia Tech. That's N-A-I-T. Nate George, coming out of Georgia Tech, led the ACC in assists last year, 6.5 per game, averaged just under 13 points a game as well. He was considered the top point guard in the transfer portal coming to Syracuse, an ACC opponent. And then Nate Kings, wingman from Oregon State, senior. That's N-A-T-E, the normal way to spell Nate. Coming in, shot 45% from behind the arc last year, one of the best three-point shooters in the country. So all of a sudden, this SU team, with the addition of William Kyle last week, who didn't really play at UCLA, but when he was at South Dakota State, put up solid numbers, is a freak athlete. So now all of a sudden you've got a new point guard, which moves JJ to the 2, where he's better suited.
Sure.
You've got an elite 3-point shooting man on the wing, which we thought we had last year in Chris Bell, but it didn't exactly work out. But we'll see if Nate Kings can, be that guy that we thought Bell was going to be in terms of shooting. And plus, he adds a little bit more on the defense and rebounding side of things. Donnie Freeman at the 4, William Kyle at the 5. This isn't including Sadiq White, Kyan Anthony, Luke Fennell, and Aaron Womack, the 4 freshmen coming in. Damn it, Josh. I'm starting to believe again.
Drink that orange juice, Marky. We're getting hot. We're feeling good.
It's the team isn't done yet. There's still 2 roster spots available, I believe. So you need, or actually there's 4, I think. What do you get? It's 12 on a...
Probably 12 or 15.
12 or 13 on a college roster. So right now we're at 9, so we got a few roster spots available.
Need a big man. Need
another big. I'd like to get another guard.
Okay.
I'd like to get another point guard if we could.
Okay.
I like Luke Fennell.
Sure.
He's a classic style SU guard. He's 6'6", can play the point, but I want to wait and see a little bit on him.
Yep.
So I'd like to get another point guard. The other 2, you can kind of do whatever the hell you want.
Just try and get the best player you can.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that, SU is going to get 3-4 more guys from the top that are top 15 guys in the portal.
Sure.
They probably won't, but we're off to a pretty damn good start. And I really like George out of Georgia Tech. It's funny, all the things, like the way he's described are the exact same ways that Jaquan Carlos was described when he came into Syracuse. And Carlos had a solid finish to the year. I've lessened up my anti-Jaquan Carlos discourse. Yeah, I've lightened up my criticisms. But if this is the test, okay, with this roster, this is the test. If this roster wins 13 games again, I'm done.
Yeah, I mean, so what's the benchmark, right? Is it an ACC top 4? Is it 20 wins?
I think it's 20.
20 wins.
It just
no matter where you
20.
finish, you need 20 wins.
Yeah.
Regular season. ACC tournament be gone.
I would prefer regular season, yes.
Okay, yeah.
So if you can get to 20 wins, okay. I'm back in on Adrian Autry.
I mean, this is his deciding year. No, I mean, people are calling for his head this year.
It has.
You give him one, like you said, you have a great incoming class. I do love seeing, a lot of praise for this kid from Georgia Tech, Nate, and I think that's a good sign for the basketball program. We talked a lot about where that NIL money is being used. I'm sure they had to pay a pretty good price to get him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited that money is still funneling into the basketball program. Fans and people around the league, I was talking to a buddy about this the other day when they're like, because we were talking about the Colorado spring game that never got approved and didn't happen, whatever.
Yeah.
But they're like, yeah, SU's just a football team. And I'm like, well, the outsiders may think that, but SU as an institution is a basketball school.
Mm-hmm.
They think of themselves as a basketball school still. I mean, football makes more money, and they like to spend money in football, of course. But a move like this just really reassures you that, like, they're not just going to let the basketball program die.
Yeah.
You lose Boeheim and you have a really crappy year. That doesn't mean your program is just in the tank. No. We're going to do something to bring this around because that's not what we accept.
And it all goes back to, and I'm not trying to pull like, and I told you so or anything because we're not sure yet on Autry. We're not positive yet. But when Boeheim, when it came to an end, I don't like to say retired because there's some weird things around the end of the Boeheim era.
When he left.
When the Boeheim era came to an end, I was sitting here pounding on the table, begging for a national coaching search.
Yep.
That's all I wanted. If you ended up hiring Adrian Autry or Jerry McNamara or whoever, fine. But I wanted the search. Let the people know that Syracuse University still cares enough about basketball to go out and talk to Jay Wright had just retired. We weren't sure what his future was going to be like. Rick Pitino was still coaching at Iona. And, at least have the conversation.
Right.
I would have loved a conversation with Will Wade, who just went to
Sean
NC
Quinn.
State. Sean Quinn. There's a lot of guys out there that at least
Mhm.
have the conversation, and then you can hire Adrian Autry. And that didn't happen. And so now, if this year maybe doesn't work out the
Mhm.
way that we all want it to, and Adrian Autry is gone, I have a sneaking suspicion of where they'll go.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I kind of don't want 2 years of head coaching experience Jerry McNamara to be the next coach of SU basketball.
I was just gonna say it, Mark. It feels like he's just got the keys to the castle waiting for him when he tried
Yeah.
to go off and
And-
make his own way, and that's great. And they kind of just basically were like, we can't do it now, but whenever you want to, because it makes all the sense in the world, right? I mean,
Yes.
let's not. I mean, he was an all-time athlete at Syracuse, literally one of the best athletes across the board that
Yeah.
Syracuse ever seen.
Mhm.
If he wants the job,
Yeah.
they'd be fools not to give it to at some point.
Absolutely.
And I get what you're saying, but like it kind of does feel like well, we wouldn't make you be an assistant for another couple years while we figure it out. So whenever this goes bad, if you want it, it's here for you.
That's sort of what it feels like.
Yeah.
And I love GMAC.
Sure.
He's an absolute legend. And I hope someday he is the head coach of Syracuse basketball.
Mhm.
I really do hope that for him, and I hope that for the program. I just don't think it's time yet.
Mhm.
Maybe Siena wins 25 games, wins their league, and goes to the tournament next year. And GMAC is one of the hot commodities
Yeah.
in college basketball, and we bring him in. Okay, that'd be interesting. But Siena wasn't great this year.
Yep.
And it's not entirely GMAC's fault. I mean, lower end Division I program. He just got in. He brought a couple of his guys in. Peter Carey was really solid for Siena this year.
Yeah.
As a big man in a conference without a lot of dominant big men. So we know he's capable. And they went on that run early in the year where they won on like 3 straight buzzer beaters. We know
Yep.
these guys like playing for GMAC. I just need to see more
Totally.
before we bring him back. And one day, I hope he's the coach of Syracuse men's basketball, but I don't think that day is next year.
You brought up Patino, and I'm jumping ship here for a second.
Mhm.
Rick, obviously in the Big East now. His kid just signed with a Big East school. Where did he go? Richmond. He left New Mexico.
It was Xavier, wasn't it?
Is it? Yeah, it is Xavier. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
because Sean Quinn's leaving to go somewhere else again.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, it was Xavier. Okay.
Yeah. Which that's going to be fun.
You love to see more Patinos in the Big East, I guess, for
Yeah.
most people.
Uh,
I don't love it, but yeah.
well,
Right.
yeah, that's just another team for
Let's-
Georgetown to lose to.
Stack the conference some more, so
You see, St. John's is going to start doing a home and home in Louisville.
really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's gonna be sick.
that's going to be fun.
Okay.
Yeah,
Louisville's good too now.
Yeah,
Good
Louisville
program.
is good too. And here's something that I saw. I think it was Brent X brought it up. Why didn't we do that with St. John's?
No clue.
I mean, we'll lose by 30, but it's a no-brainer.
Right.
that
You don't have to travel that much.
No.
It's right there.
You-
and you have the history.
SU gets to play in the Garden again, which
Mhm.
is Dome 2.0, Dome South, Madison Square Garden. And we get to see Rick Pitino back in the Dome,
Yep.
which is something that, with this town's affinity for the Big East,
Oh yeah.
seeing Rick Pitino and St. John's back at the Dome, that'll be the highest attended game of the year.
Yeah, it'd make a lot of sense to set up one now. You use hitch your wagon to Georgetown, which I agree with. It makes
Yeah,
sense.
absolutely. You need that
But
Georgetown
both
game.
teams killed that for a little bit here, but
Yeah.
hopefully both teams also on the up and up now. So that gets a little better. But if you had to pick one at the time, right? I get picking Georgetown. I like it, but
Yeah,
I
and-
understand.
But
You can't just schedule all Big East. You left the Big East. You don't get to keep playing the Big East. I'm sorry,
The-
Syracuse.
the people.
I know the people, Mark, but the people
No,
got screwed.
No, but what I'm saying is there is so much more talk about these two conferences combining.
Oh my God. Yeah.
We shouldn't be at this point. The divide should have just never happened.
It's all Syracuse's fault, honestly.
It is all Syracuse's fault. That's the thing that bothers me.
And then they're the ones that want it back.
These people don't care about Pitt. These people don't
No.
care about Boston College. Like,
No.
it's, well, okay, a little bit. But,
Yeah.
like, when you've got Dan Hurley and, these big-time Big East coaches saying in post-game press conferences, I want Syracuse back in the Big East.
Mhm.
Like,
But now, Mark, you've committed yourself to being a football school in some sense.
Exactly. And
What the
now
hell are you going to do there? You're going to be Notre Dame again? You're just going to go non-conference in
Yeah,
football?
does Notre Dame start playing a Big East football schedule again? Like, I don't know, man. There's been a lot of talk about it, and the more that it gets talked about, when I hear guys like Dan Hurley be like, yeah, I would like to play Syracuse twice a year. And
Sure.
I know it's because you want 2 easy wins, Dan Hurley. That's fine. But obviously I'm kidding. But it's part of it.
Yeah.
And no shade against Creighton, who are a great basketball program, or like any of the other newer Big East teams. No shade against them. You don't really belong there. Like, it doesn't feel right, does it?
I have all the sympathy in the world because I love the Big East just like you do, Mark. But at the end of the day, Syracuse made their bed, and now they lie in it in basketball, and they get destroyed in the ACC, and this is their problem to deal with. It wasn't always this way, but they've now made their bed, and the Big East does not get to come save the day. No. I will let Syracuse rot, okay? I don't care. Don't save. I mean, I would like to see it. Ultimately, I wouldn't mind. But it's like, what do you do now? You combine them, make 25, and then just tell 10 of the teams to go screw themselves?
Well,
my team would get screwed, Mark.
No, I think this is what they would do, is they would combine the conferences. And all of a sudden, SU never has to play North Carolina or Duke again. They're in the Big East East, and then there's the Big East North, and there's the Big East South. And it's like the Big East North plays each other, and it's the original Big East.
Yep.
And the Big East South plays each other. Gets Creighton, and it's just the ACC.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I could see it happening more and more as the alignment, realignment, all this stuff happening. It's not the craziest thing because most of those Big East schools don't even have football programs.
No,
or a lot of them really. I mean,
no, I mean UConn does. Nova's D2 or not D2, but they're like the FCS or FB.
Georgetown doesn't really have.
Yeah,
one.
Georgetown doesn't really have one. Like
I don't think I've ever heard of the Blue Jays having one. Great.
No, I don't think Creighton has one.
So it's like it could work, but all for Syracuse. Why would Duke want that? Why the hell would Duke want
think the answer here has always been clear. You can be in multiple conferences.
Yes, they could just be. Yeah.
That's a thing you're allowed to do. Is be in different conferences for different sports. The ACC should have been a football and lacrosse move. Okay, but they were never going to do that because then you get Boeheim versus Coach K and Boeheim versus Roy Williams twice a year.
Yep.
So that's why they were never going to do that. But guess what? The coaching rivalries don't matter anymore because none of those guys are around anymore.
Right. They were all 70.
Yeah.
They made a thing so we could get 2 years of hot press.
Yeah.
And then every coach left. They all died.
Just send the basketball team back to the Big East.
Yeah.
That's fine.
You could just do that.
You could.
Wild Hack is a fraud. I believe at one point, he's a colleague of mine. I got to speak nice about him.
Yeah,
No,
coworker John Wildhack.
I'm just kidding. I don't care 2 craps about John Wildhack. And neither does a fan of ours that we know sent a very strongly worded email at one point to Mr. Wildhack.
Yes.
Calling him some choice words.
It's just that the solution is right there. Do they really think the revenue difference is that much bigger?
Can't be. You don't want your games aired on the Fox Sports 1 instead of the vaunted CW?
Yeah,
the big money maker, the CW, FS1.
It brings back history. It brings back the rivalries that this city cares about.
Yeah,
and it just makes so much sense for me that guess what? If you still want to play Duke and UNC every once in a while, schedule them as a non-conference game.
And they'll still be massive games.
Yeah.
Because they're Duke and then they're UNC. So it's fine.
And you think they wouldn't want to play us?
Right. What are you talking about?
It makes no sense. But that's my thought about it is just join the ACC or join the Big East for basketball again.
What about the Final Four, Mark? Want to take a break?
Yeah, we're going to take a break and we're going to come back. I didn't expect that to turn into an anti-ACC rant, but I should have because most of my rants turn into anti-ACC rants. Do have to take a timeout. We'll be right back on Outside the Box Score. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of Central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floating on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
The DV Used Car Mega Sale has been extended through April. Clearance markdowns on over 400 pre-owned, all in one location.
Yeah, it's a shame. And I'm like, well, I'm sure there's no shame. I mean, he'd like to see a young kid out in the morning. I mean, his kid's not going to wake up for another 4 hours. This is like 7:30. I'm like, Adam sleeps all morning. That guy sleeps.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yeah, no shame in going out alone. Right?
No.
You got to report. I don't mind, especially a diner. Like
Yeah,
breakfast.
I don't mind stopping in a diner in the morning, grabbing some hotcakes.
Yeah, I get the weirdness. Like, I really wouldn't care. I would do it too. But like people who are like, I don't want to go out to dinner by myself. It's like,
I do that.
Yeah, it's like, why not? Especially, I mean, if you sit at a bar, it's a little different. If you got a table for one, it's like, it's still a little awkward, but it's not crazy.
No, I've done it.
Yeah. Now, Mark, I don't know if I want to put this slander on the air, but I tried the lizard the other day, and I was not pleased.
Yeah, you were telling me.
I went to the one in Liverpool, in the village.
Never
basically.
been to that one.
I don't know. I think I just got having a bad time.
Yeah, maybe.
Part of the thing with barbecue things, like it's so timed out, and it was just dead on a Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like early afternoon, and it's like probably just not cooking it. But like, I was not pleased. Because I remember we had it at the bank, and I was like, this is fantastic.
Yeah. We'll go to the we'll go to the one by my house one day, the Onondaga Boulevard one. It's good. And the thing is, I love the Wimp. I've been going for years. But the general consensus is the Dinosaur's better.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, I get it. Yeah, it's the barbecue spot in Syracuse.
I mean, I love both, but like, I think just from a convenience standpoint, like, I've had Dinosaur probably 10, 15 times in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I've had the Wimp probably 50. Like, it's just it's the one I'm more comfortable getting. So in that sense, I guess I would say I kind of
is the Dinosaur located? There's just the one downtown, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just the one. And their thing too is they do a ton of takeout.
Oh
like, that's Dinosaur's thing is they just do a ton of takeout.
Yeah.
I think I've sat in there and ate like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that's like
Every
Rochester has one too. And it's the same thing. I've been to it like a handful of times. We've had takeout.
Yeah. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I want to talk a little bit about the Final Four. We got 2 games tonight. We had 2 games last night. Talking about the women's side, South Carolina beating Texas 74-57. That one was close for a while until it wasn't. The game that was never close. These Lady Huskies, man, 85-51. On an off night from Paige Beckers.
Yeah.
Whew.
Got out to a hot start in that first quarter and never looked back, Marky.
Never looked back.
I'll tell you, some people don't think that the women's tournament is as fun to watch, and they're just wrong. I mean, it is actually a pretty good product.
Oh, it's a great product. I've been somewhat advocating for women's basketball for a long time. Ever since I started calling women's basketball games at Oswego.
Yeah.
And that was like, I had seen the women's tournament. I had seen the WNBA, but I hadn't watched it a ton.
Yeah.
Since then, I find myself watching just a random WNBA game on a Wednesday night or a random women's college game.
Right.
I think it is a really great product that more people need to appreciate.
There is something to be said, too, for the pacing of the games with the 10-minute quarters rather than the halves.
Yep.
It feels to go by a little faster in my mind, and I think it's just something that at least the best teams, like I watch a lot of in the tournament, I'm really only watching the good teams, whatever. But there's not a lot of half-court offense. I mean, they're just running and gunning.
They run.
Yeah. It's really, honestly, it's a good product. I like watching it.
And, the old thing was always like, oh, it's a more fundamental basketball game and stuff.
No.
That's not even the argument. They're starting to play more like the men.
Yes.
I mean, it's a lot of 3-point shots. It's, like you said, high, fast-paced offenses.
Mm-hmm.
It really is fun to watch. Yeah. And I'm glad that someone like Caitlin Clark came around, and don't tell Angel Reese I said this because she'll say she had just as big of a part of it.
Half the WNBA would say that.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark came around, and a lot more people started paying attention.
Mm-hmm.
And, and I'm glad for that, because then you get to watch teams like UConn last night, who just dominated their second 1 seed of the tournament.
There's true star power throughout all of the women's league right now in a bunch of different teams.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, shame to see what happened to Juju Watkins on USC. Kelsey Britz, I think is her name, from UCLA, 51, big fella down low. She's awesome to watch.
Oh, Betts.
Betts, yes.
Yeah, no, it's Lauren Betts. You got the name completely
wrong. Love you still, baby. And Haley Van Reeth is amazing on TCU. Like, just a lot of good quality women playing good basketball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot of fun to watch. So that final will be played on Sunday.
Who is Kelsey Britz?
Kelsey Britz is not a person. 3 o'clock on 3 o'clock on Sunday. UConn, South Carolina, Connecticut, the 2 seed, the only 2 seed in the Final Four, 6.5-point favorite over the Lady Gamecocks. So that'll be a really fun game. Excited to watch that one tomorrow. And then men's Final Four tonight, 6:09 p.m. First game, Florida, Auburn, 8:49. Game after, Houston, Duke. Last time 4 1 seeds in the NCAA tournament, 2008. That was Memphis, Kansas, UNC, and UCLA. So
who do you got, Marky?
A lot of people were saying, like, oh, this tournament stinks. It's all chalk. These are 2 really great games tonight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Florida's a 2.5-point favorite against Auburn. Duke, 4.5-point favorite against Houston.
That line's come down in Duke.
It has. It started at 5.5. Just because I've got them on my bracket winning it all, I'm going to take Auburn in the first game. Janai Broome versus Clayton is going to be such a fun matchup to watch. Two of the 3 most electric players in college basketball going up against each other. Yeah, with the other one playing in the game following in Cooper Flagg. This is the Final Four that we all kind of wanted but didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, I mean, not even – I'm right with you in my bracket, but Florida won 16 out of their last 17 coming in this game tonight, including a win over Auburn before the tournament. But Florida, for as flashy as they look, they're very athletic, obviously, fun to watch, good team. They've been kind of shaky this tournament. Yeah. I feel like that's fair to say. First half starts slow sometimes, have to battle back in a couple of these games, Maryland specifically, and the UConn game, of course. Yeah. I like Auburn. I really do. I think Bruce Pearl is the better coach than Tom Golden, who we had to look up, who was even coaching them in that UConn game we watched. We're like, who the hell is this guy? I've never even heard of Tom Golden. But in any event, Bruce Pearl, I just love Bruce Pearl. I think he's a really, really good coach. And I think this might just be his year. Honestly, I'm kind of thinking him on Monday night is my play.
Interesting.
I love this Auburn team. Like you said, Broome is really good. I'm glad that he's healthy still. And I think it's a little disrespectful to be the number 1 overall seed. And I get they lost 3 games coming in here. They're really good.
Yeah, they're really good.
That had put people in the back of their minds. They're like, oh, maybe they're not as good, this and that. No. This team's covered every game they've played, basically. And it hasn't really been close. That game against Michigan State, there was never really a doubt in your mind that they were going to win the game.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Duke-Arizona game. Arizona covers, but like, never did you ever suspect Arizona was going to win the game.
No, absolutely not.
So I would also like Auburn tonight. And then looking over at Duke, Houston in the last 2 seasons has only allowed 65 points 3 times. 3 times. That's a ridiculous stat.
It is.
And I believe one of them was against Gonzaga earlier in the tournament. I think they scored 65, if I had to guess. That was a pretty high-scoring game. Maybe it wasn't even 65, though. So, in any event, pretty low-scoring matchup, obviously, you'd think. Total's only like 130-something.
136.5.
Yeah, but I don't know. Houston has been a buzzard for me all year, or all tournament, because I've been picking against them. I thought that Gonzaga could get it done. I honestly thought Purdue would put up a decent fight, and they did. But I don't know. Their defense is so good. It's like the immovable force meets the unstoppable object or whatever.
Unstoppable force, immovable object.
God damn it. Yes.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things. But, dude, what are we talking about?
I think
Duke is just unstoppable.
Yeah,
like Cooper Flagg, man.
I'm super high on this Houston team because they can do something that previous Houston teams couldn't. They can score.
Well, can they? They can this tournament somehow, but they're not really that team.
They averaged 75 a game this year. which for a Houston team is
Yeah.
high.
Yep.
They're usually like 67, 68.
Mhm.
So they have the ability to score.
Yes.
Which is something that Houston teams in previous years haven't really had. They relied solely on that suffocating defense.
Give you that, yeah.
They still have that suffocating defense,
Mhm.
but now they can score some more points. They shoot the three rather well. They shoot 40% as a team.
Sure.
They're a good 3-point shooting team. And damn, this is a really tough matchup because I want to say it's just Duke,
Mhm.
but it wouldn't surprise me at all if Houston won this game. It really wouldn't.
Yep.
So
They're
I
looking
think
for a little bit of revenge after last year's Sweet 16 as well.
yeah, it's Kelvin Sampson's a really good coach.
Mhm.
John Shire is a great coach, but is he going to get it done this quickly? I don't know.
Sometimes this is where you pull in like who's the best player on the court.
And that's
it's
Cooper Flag.
by a mile. dude.
Yeah.
There was a time in that Alabama game with about 12 minutes left or something. They were up 7.
Mhm.
And me and my dad were kind of watching the game. We're like, when are they just going to let Cooper take over? And he was shooting 5 of 15 at that time. He only had 11 points.
Yeah.
And it was just the Cooper Flag show there. They closed it out. They win by 20.
Yep.
Like, just annihilate an Alabama team. And I get it. They weren't really – Alabama, for as good as they are, they don't have the skills to compete with these top-level teams like that, in my mind.
I mean, it's hard when you don't play defense.
Yes. Yeah. It's a brutal thing. All I'm hoping for is that nobody pulls a Tennessee tonight.
Yeah.
Because that game was truly
atrocious.
one of the hardest games to watch of the tournament.
It was really bad.
Iowa State Lipscomb put out a better contest
Yeah.
than that Tennessee team last week, which sucked because I really liked Tennessee.
Yeah.
I thought they were really good, and they just had a
Tennessee this year was Houston the last 3 years.
yeah.
Really, really great defense that just can't score. That was Tennessee.
What did they
this
start the game like 0-13 from
year.
deep?
They had 15 points in the first half. It was absolutely abysmal basketball, but
Every 16 seed scored more in the first half than they did.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
So are you saying Duke or Auburn over Duke, or
I'm saying
in the final?
Yeah.
Auburn over Duke?
Yep.
I'm going to take Duke over Auburn.
Okay, I like it.
Yeah.
I like that we're both Duke Auburn though tonight.
Yeah, I think it's Duke and Auburn. We got to take one more time out. We'll come back, wrap things up with our Masters picks on Outside the Box Score. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score. Real quick break here at the end of the show.
Oh yeah, that's our specialty.
Yep. Just go way over time, multiple times.
It is nice to get the preview of the courses again, because I mean Augusta is one of those ones they play it every year. You pretty much know every hole.
Yeah.
But it's a nice little recap of like, yes, this is where it is. It's a great course.
I'm so excited, man. I love the Masters.
So when are the Bergs going? Wednesday?
No,
When's
they're
their-
going Monday. Yeah, they left today, I think.
Oh, they're not driving, are they?
No.
Okay.
So Augusta's really close to Columbia, South Carolina.
Okay.
So Tommy and their father are staying in Columbia, or flew into Columbia. They're staying in Columbia.
Yeah.
And Pat and Connor, for some reason, flew into Atlanta, so they have to drive 3 hours to Columbia.
What?
I don't know, man.
Probably just to connect, like wherever. What's the Atlanta hub? Delta, maybe? Maybe they're Delta members.
I don't know. But yeah. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. Wrapping up another fun-filled hour here on the Score. Josh, it's a tradition unlike any other.
Georgia.
All right, have you seen the new one?
Oh,
The
dude,
Noah Khan one?
It's bad.
What are we doing? Ray Charles wrote a perfect song.
I mean, it's like one of the things. It's like you didn't need to change it. You never change anything.
It's Ray Charles.
The music stayed the same forever. The piano interlude.
Yep.
Jim Nance's soothing voice, who I love him being like, they're gonna have to pull me away from this thing. And Bill Rafferty said the same thing about college hoops.
Well, yeah, Bill Rafferty was like, what was the quote? If I'm not calling college basketball, I'm either dead or fired. Like,
which yes,
please, Raph.
Same with Nance. I know Nance said, what do you say, 11 years?
Yeah, he said 2036, I think it was, will be his last Masters because it'll be his 50th.
Wow.
Or his 51st and the 100th Masters.
Okay.
So
that makes sense.
And he's like, that's how I want to go out. And people are like, oh, he gets an 11-year retirement tour. No,
he's not saying anything.
No,
like that. No,
he's just like, that's what I'm going to go out. And that's fine. Jim Nance is like 65 years old. He could do this for another 20 years if he wanted to.
Right, he can make it.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I do want to talk about the Masters. Who are your guys this week? Who are we looking for at Augusta?
We're coming from our talk about college baseball or college basketball, and we talked about baseball earlier. And some things around the league, it's just chalk. You know, the Yankees, the Dodgers, they're good. Auburn 4-1 seeds and everything. Sometimes it's just chalk, Marky. So it's gonna kill you. Rory has to win a green jacket at some point.
At some point, he has to.
He's too goddamn good of a golfer.
I already
to not
bet
win
him.
One. Yeah, Rory
I
is a
already bet
guy that I'd like to win it. We talked both about Colin Morikawa.
Yep, I love Morikawa.
I'm looking at all these guys got stats about past winners and this strokes gained beforehand. I mean, he's electric. It's hard not to think about Scotty Scheffler.
Well, of course.
He's the best golfer in the world.
He's like plus 400.
Right, it's stupid.
It's almost not even good value to bet him. Like,
if I had to take a guy who was probably not in the top ratings of who else, I told you I also like Bryson as he tries to figure out Augusta.
Yeah.
And then my last guy who's kind of out the beaten path, but he wants to wear that green jacket again, maybe get a new size for him. Shane Lowry also has a sneaky good season coming into Augusta. Had a couple top 10 finishes, I think, and he's been
Lowry's been playing really well. Shane's one of those guys that it's all about the driver for him.
Yeah.
Because Augusta, you can't be missing fairways left and right. It's so narrow. And when his driver gets loose,
it's rough.
It's a little rough. He misses a lot of shots to the right. You don't want to be missing shots to the right at Augusta. There's a few holes where you can, but for the most part, not so much. But if Lowry's driver is on for 4 days, he absolutely has a chance. He's a great iron player, phenomenal wedge player.
Yep.
He's got great soft hands and solid enough putter that I think he can get around Augusta in a low number. I'm in on Rory plus 675.
Yeah,
he's number 2 in odds, but he's going to win a green jacket at some point. He's never had 2 wins coming into the Masters, and he does this year.
I was going to say, has it only happened one other time? Well, it has to happen more. That a guy won the Players and that. I mean, Scotty did it last year.
Yeah,
but I'm sure Tiger's done it, right? I mean, is that just crazy to assume that Tiger had won the Players and then this?
Yeah, I think he did it.
So maybe
probably,
but it's pretty rare.
He probably did it in 2000 when he won 18 tournaments, in 3 majors. So Rory, I'm super high on him coming in. Ludwig Oberg is a robot designed specifically to play golf. That guy isn't a human being, and he's plus 1,700. So I love him on those odds.
Okay.
Former green jacket winner who's been playing well, but you wouldn't know it by looking at him because he one-hands every shot, is Hideki Matsuyama. He's plus 3,000. I've got a future on him. In the 2 real long shots, I've got Robert McIntyre, who sort of burst onto the scene at Augusta, lefty out of Scotland. One of the funniest things I've ever heard in a golf broadcast was, I believe it was Sir Nick Faldo, saying he might be the best lefty to ever come out of Scotland. And that was just, he was like 22 years old at the time. And I'm like, that's hilarious because I can't name another one. And a guy that I love watching play, despite how freaking slow he is, young Tom Kim. I love me some Tom Kim. He's a great player, great iron player. He's plus 9,000. He's my real long shot. I think he could put up a really good number at Augusta.
Mark, what do you think about Minwoo Lee?
In Minwoo, I mean, he falls into the same category as Bryson, where it's hard to just bomb it around that course.
Yeah.
But if he's bombing it straight, look out.
Love Minwoo.
Love Minwoo. Congrats to Minwoo on his first win. That's going to do it for us today. thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Jim, when you watch the replay, here's a shout-out for you at the end of the show. Thank you, everybody. We'll be back next week, same time, same channel, 11 a.m. on the Score 1260. Peace.
Listen on radio, smart speakers,